I'm in Centerville, Tennessee. It's August 14th, 1992. I'm in the recording studio of Joseph Perry, a longtime friend of mine, a very good brother who's been an advisor to me and a confidant and has helped me tremendously in organizing my poetry and my songs. And today we're going to do a poetry tape. Joseph's going to do the music and I'm going to read my accumulated works of poetry from 1962 to 1992. The first group of poems come from my college years, a time of great alienation, frustration, lustful thoughts, a lost soul with some inkling of God but far from God. And the first one I'm going to do is called Blue Travels. If my song should turn suddenly like a wild stallion and cast a shadow like a man, if I in the nipple of winter slept upright with a herd of transients in Grand Central, or wrestled a cockroach in a steamy hotel in Acapulco, if 1,000 winter cars left me in the Malibu Canyon and 10,000 north of Baltimore for dead, if it was known I slept in a sea cave on the Oregon coast till a pre-dawn tide drove me out, what then? What of the 800 girls I've loved, and not one a woman? I was dealing with a lot of lust in those days, and this poem's called The Willows Web. The red moon like a bleared eye, a red sore on a bull's back, caught and hung in a web of willows. Jake, the janitor, crippled from birth, stood 'neath the willows lusting. Sister Mary Joseph, high up in her convent window, sensed him standing there. A strange feeling like a warm wave flashed and charged through her body. The moon broke loose from the willow's web, and that bloodshot eye in the bull-black night went screaming through the sky. I hitchhiked to Mexico when I was 21, I think, and went to Tijuana and was really kind of overwhelmed by what I found there. And so I wrote this poem called Tijuana, where the good come away better and the bad come away worse. And the harlots in tight dresses with their cold breasts rubbed raw by a night of greedy, senseless hands, and a sea of flashing, gasping tequila, and the sweet, greasy smell of tacos, toilets, bodies making love and beer, and little boys with shoeshine boxes, postcards, magazines, and older sisters, and always the flesh, so close and warm you can taste the salt. The señorita, she gonna take it off for you. You want tail, mister? And the security of dark holes where only the naked swaying of a white body exists, and now and then a white hand that reaches out to touch, and only the tremulous crashing of cymbals as a rose loses its petals. This next one's called The Joke. Sort of can see how mixed up my mind was at the time. The joke. The world's a joke, but no one's laughing. Somewhere down the long dark corridors, where no means yes, where night is day, where time drinks tea with space, somewhere down that endless, ill-lit passageway, where love turns out to be the only form of hate, where all winners lose, where no one wears anything except their favorite poem, and that only part of the time. Someone with his bald, fat, bleared head thrown back, with fat, slick tears streaming like oil over his fat Buddhist cheeks, is laughing. Today he laughs alone, but tomorrow... This one's called Plastic Roses. Here, chained to the cold granite ice-black wall of my cave, 1,000 jagged eyes enjoy me. Stretched like the hide of a lion, she brings me plastic roses. She always laughs at my saddest poems. I was at a Catholic university and we heard all this talk about love, and so this is sort of my flip, facetious, maybe sadistical, sarcastic poem about love. It's called Father Perron. Father Perron told them that love lies in giving and not in receiving. They all smiled and nodded. Father Perron said love ultimately leads us to God, the ultimate of love. They all smiled and nodded. He told the youth that the closest we can come to God is Christ, the Son of God. Tony stifled a yawn. Christ's love was a love of charity. Love is the highest act of the intellect and of the will. Love adds meaning and purpose to life. We must love God and love our fellow man. Without love there is no life. We must love as Christ loved, with Christian love, with a love of charity. They all smiled and nodded. The bell rang. The meeting was over. Then Tony took Marie out to the back seat of his car and showed her what love really is. I was very suicidal in those days. This one's called The Window Washer. The window washer rose to his feet, then with arms crucifixion wide, on the tip of his toes, poised, arched, leapt in a perfect swan dive from 37 up. He gracefully floated down to meet the April morning with a fantastic traffic jam. This one's called Get Your Teeth Off My Boots. The world goes round with a smile, offering more teeth and more hand than an undertaker, more slap on the back and pick your pocket than P.T. Barnum dreamed of. Mr. G, I'm glad to have met you, and Mr. See You Coming went down in a valley to see the world, while the Lone Ranger rode through the countryside spreading good deeds and venereal disease. I was always impressed by Japanese haiku, and so I wrote this one. The falling leaves covered the tracks where their bodies broke bread late last night. I was searching for God in my own way, and this is called I Saw God. I, the pilgrim, dressed in doubt, set out one morning to see God, and I didn't see him in any of those new flying fortresses of true faith where ushers sport white dinner jackets, nor in the tomb-cold cathedrals, the last place he'd be seen dead in, nor even in the womb-warm roll-in-the-aisle joints. And I didn't see him in the trees at Mission Park. I surely didn't see him in the green sky of blue grass. God knows I didn't see him in the faces of babies, either kind, or in the laughter of children, or any of these usual places that make you want to barf. I saw God in a night alley, behind a Chinese restaurant, digging through the trash with his wild, hungry, flaming blue eyes and wondrously crippled hands. Some of the poets talked about the death wish, and so I guess this is my death wish. It's called number 9. Death, dear gray chewed Mexican dog, some days, this day, your dirty feet and heavy tongue seem far too far down this trash beautiful alley. I had a certain fascination with Latin culture that eventually took me to South America, but this one has to do with a bullfight. It's called Three Dancers on a Wall. Truth knew the arena, its burning floor of sand, dung, blood, knew the black of charge and hot-breathed bull. The bull, caught in the rage of red flash gone, caught in the glint of flash-quick steel, caught in the pain of his own spin, knew truth. The matador knew only the bull. This last one is from my college years, and it's called Building Walls. A new generation, a new breed, bearing the guilt of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Be sure and have fun. Where's the party tonight? Lost in the mazes of divorce courts, crackers in bed, and mental cruelties. Building walls, walls to protect John Birch and Company. A new generation of wall builders, college-educated, of course, well-versed on Hitler, love, and God, all trying to hold hands without getting involved. A new breed, a new generation. Come, let us save the world.